Last week, a client asked me about buying a car. His question was simple. Should I finance a vehicle or should I use my own investments to buy it out in cash? Today, I got another call from a different client with the same general idea, but in his case, he's planning to renovate his kitchen. Anytime a client tells me they're making a large purchase, it's the same type of analysis. Is it better to take out the investment assets to pay for that purchase outright? Or is it better to finance the project? I always tell clients that there's a mathematically correct answer, and then there's the answer that's right for them. Now, some of you seem to be allergic to debt. And for those people, they'd rather pay off the debt right away, even if they're financially better off to finance the purchase and retain the asset or the investment. Today, I think what we're going to do is just focus on the math side of things and introduce you to the concept of interest rate differential. Simply put, it's the difference between the interest rate that you're paying on the car loan and the rate of return that you would otherwise achieve on the investment. For example, imagine you have $1,000 invested, earning 8% per year. That's $80 in growth in that year. Now imagine that you owe $1,000 at 4%. You're paying $40 in interest for that year. So by financing, instead of withdrawing the asset, it leaves you $40 ahead over that year. Now this effect's even stronger if you purchase, like for a larger purchase, like a car or a home renovation. Let's create a real life scenario. So say you want to buy a car at a purchase price of $45,000. Financing is at 1.99% interest rate over 5 years, and it'll cost you about $2,300 in interest. If you withdraw the $45,000 from your TFSA, you lose the potential growth on that $45,000. And we call that the opportunity cost. So assuming an 8% return, that $45,000, if you were to keep it in your TFSA, would grow to about $66,000 over the 5-year period, representing an opportunity cost of about $21,000. This means that if you were to use the $45,000 to pay for the car outright, you're missing out on $21,000 in potential growth. Now, some people will say, hey, look, I understand interest rate differential, but I can't afford the monthly payments if I don't take the money out of the investments. And that's where a systematic withdrawal plan comes into play. So instead of taking out the entire $45,000 to pay for the car, you finance the car and then you withdraw only the monthly amount that you need to make that car payment. So this leaves most of the investment intact. Maybe it's not as good as just leaving the whole investment invested and absorbing the car payment in your monthly cash flow or your monthly expenses, but it's still much better than a full withdrawal. Don't miss out on future tips and tricks by subscribing to our weekly Prestige Brief. Do that by clicking on the link below. Each edition shares actionable strategies to help your retirement plan succeed and to grow through smart financial decisions. Now back to our story. If you get a car loan at 1.99% and you make monthly payments of $788, you'll have your car loan paid off in about 5 years. So we'll send you the $788 each month from your TFSA to cover the loan payment. Total interest paid over the loan for the 5 years is about $2,300, while the income earned on the TFSA is just about $11,000, for a net positive difference in your pocket of $8,700. That's a lot of money in your pocket just by structuring your finances in a better way. There are all sorts of scenarios that we can run. What if the amount of the withdrawal is different? What if the loan rate is different? What if your return rate is different on your investments? All of these things will impact the outcome and need to be calculated. So I'll just give you one example here. What if your financing rate is 5% instead of 1.99 and you're a GIC investor earning 3%? Then the math shows that it'd just be better to take the money out of your TFSA and buy the car outright, because your hurdle rate in this case is the interest rate that you need to beat. That's 5%. And we're only earning 3% in that GIC. The principle of interest rate differential applies to all purchase versus financing decisions. But it can get a little bit more complicated depending on what account you're withdrawing from. So for example, the $45,000 could be taken out of your RRSP, but then you'll have to factor in taxes. Every time you take money out of your RSP, remember that it's a taxable event. For example, you live in Manitoba, you earn $80,000 a year, let's say, and you want to use your RRSP to fund that car purchase. So your financial institution will need to withdraw a gross amount of $67,000 from your RSP, since they need to withhold 30% in taxes in order for you to get net $45,000. So keep in mind that not only will you be paying a ton of taxes on that withdrawal, but the foregone investment growth on the $67,000 that you took out of your RSP works out to $31,500 or thereabouts over the 5 years. So clearly taking money out of your RSP in a lump sum to pay for a car that can be financed instead would be a big mistake for most people. Financing the car and keeping your investment intact is often the smarter financial choice. In our $45,000 example, leaving the money invested could amount to over $21,000 more in the long run than by paying in cash. If cash flow is tight, a systematic withdrawal plan can cover the payments without fully depleting the assets, while still leaving you $8,700 better off. Always do the math on these situations. Your future self will thank you. Sometimes we have a tendency to see all debt as the enemy, but when we step back and consider the bigger picture, the opportunity cost of pulling money out of a well-managed investment, that story changes. With the right advisor and a thoughtful financial plan, the reality can be far more rewarding than you might expect. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any future financial strategies. To wrap it up, if you'd like to explore how personalized financial planning can work for you, I invite you to click on the link below for a free discovery call. Together, we'll make the time to understand your needs, your goals, your values, so that we can stand firmly on your side throughout your financial journey. Let's help you to live for today while planning for a better tomorrow.